in a beautiful Miller Park tonight. The top is closed. A little cool here, but a great night for baseball. Game 2, the Giants and the Brewers. The Brewers looking to get one back. And they'll put Sean Markham out on the hill tonight. He faced the Giants back in May 6th. A quality start for him and ready for a win against San Francisco. He opposes Matt Cain. Also faced off against Markham and the Brewers back on May 6th. Fan 10 Brewers. Neither one of these pitchers, though, factored in the final decision of that game. Hi, everybody. Alongside Jerry Augustine, I'm Craig Kashan as we welcome you back here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Ryan Braun leaving yesterday's game before it was over. It goes long. 14 innings. Could have used him in extra innings in that loss, but he tweaked a groin. And the good news is, Jerry, he's back in tonight. So the reigning NL MVP, and he had a big say in how this game went last night. Of course, in the 8th inning, a long home run, a no-doubter to win it. And then shortly after that, though, left the game with the issue.
Well, there's two important factors with Ryan Braun. First of all, he knows how much the Brewers need him in that lineup, what he brings to this ball club each and every day. Secondly, Ryan has to know himself that when he's not 100%, when he feels something goofy in his body, something's hurting a little bit, when to take himself out of ball game. It's a tough decision because he's such a competitor, but he has to make that decision smartly.
All right, other lineup changes we'll tell you about as well. The big mound matchup, though, a rematch only 16 days ago in San Francisco. Back then it took extra innings to beat Markham and the crew. Are the Brewers thinking a little payback tonight? You bet.
Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, because when friends come together, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By Toyota. When you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. Well, after a well-pitched game last night that went 14 innings, another great pitching matchup today. Sean Markham at 2-2 for the season, an ERA at 3.31. And Matt Cain, he's been one of the best right-handers in all of baseball the last couple of seasons. And a couple of big bats are back in there. Neither one of these guys finished the game, Buster Posey and Ryan Braun, but back in the starting lineup tonight. And we're set for Game 2, the Brewers and the San Francisco Giants. And everybody, we welcome you from Miller Park alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Great to have you with us. Went to extra innings last night, 14 as a matter of fact. The Giants came out on top. Now the Brewers try to even this series. And because of the 14 innings, the bullpen situation is up for grabs, which means Sean Markham is going to need to go deep in this one.
Both of these starting pitchers are going to be relied on to pitch deep into the ball game. Sean Markham in his last start against the Astros looked pretty good. Then he hit a wall, gave up 4 runs in the 4th inning. A little bit shaky coming out of the bullpen. He kind of tweaked something in his ribs, but he turned out to be okay. Markham has been very consistent all season long. He really hasn't had that blow-up start. He's able to keep the fastball down. The changeup has been very good, so it's going to be important for Markham again to manage his pitch count and be able to pitch deep into the game.
Well, Markham certainly knows the story here. He has pitched 49 innings, amassing 49 innings over his last 8 starts. He's a guy that Renicky hopes to give 6 or 7, maybe even 8 tonight if he can get it out of him. But he is going to oppose Matt Cain this evening. Matt Cain is a workhorse. Bruce Bochy couldn't have a better guy on the mound tonight than Matt Cain.
No, one of the best in the business. One of the best right-handers in all of baseball. Matt Cain has had his problems, though, against the Milwaukee Brewers. He's got a big run average against the Brewers. He's had 3 very bad starts against Milwaukee, but this is a guy that can dominate hitters like nobody else can. He's got a lot of different pitches that he can attack you with.
Interesting, his numbers. You mentioned it, Rock, against the Brewers at 4.42, against the other opponents in the National League Central, and then you throw the Mets in there. So those are the pedestrian numbers for Matt Cain, and the Brewers are hoping these numbers hold true here tonight. Desperately needing some offense. Where are the Brewer bats? Hopefully they are back tonight. Braun back in the lineup. The Brewers and the Giants. Game 2 is coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. just about set for game 2 of this series. The Brewers and the Giants, and that is a good sign. Ryan Braun back in the starting lineup. Exited last night's game in the 10th inning. Had a groin strain, and he's back. And the Brewers certainly need his bat in the lineup. He is swinging a red-hot bat over his last 4 games. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder, Telly Hughes. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin as the Brewers and the Giants ready to play their 5th overall game of the season series. Bruce Bochy in his 6th season as the manager of the Giants, World Series champion manager in 2010. And his batting order today brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. Gregor Blanco leads off. He'll be followed by Brandon Crawford, then Melky Cabrera. Buster Posey in a big 3-run homer last night. Angel Pagam is back in there after an illness last night. And Aubrey Huff, his first start since April 21st. Bottom 3, Joaquin Arias, Emmanuel Burris, and Matt Cain. Well, that's the batting order, Rock, that will face Sean Markham, who is making his 9th start of the season tonight and looking for his 3rd win of the year.
Yeah, no decision his last time out. Gave up 4 runs against those Houston Astros. Having a pretty good month of May, a 2.52 ERA in 4 starts.
Well, just like he did in his last start as he deals strike 1 to Gregor Blanco. He will be pitching tonight under the very watchful eyes of the Brewers athletic training staff. Everything checked out okay in his pregame warm-ups. As Blanco flies to left, and there is Braun, and 1 away for Sean Markham. Let's give you the rest of the Brewers defense. Joining Braun in the outfield is Morgan and Aoki. Around the horn for the Brew Crew tonight, Ramirez and Izturis on the left side with Ricky Weeks and Taylor Green on the right side. Jonathan Lucroy back in the lineup doing the catching. And our Menards Brewers defense. Tim Timmons will call the balls and strikes. Jeff Kellogg, Eric Cooper, and Marty Foster are the base umpires. And there is the crew chief, Jeff Kellogg. Sean Markham had a little tugging under his rib cage in Houston. And if you were watching that game and our broadcast that night in Houston, there was a lot of concern whether Markham was going to be able to start that game. As a matter of fact, Manny Parra hustled down to the bullpen before the game. He thought he might have to make a spot start as Crawford singles back up the middle, and the Giants have a base runner with 1 away. But all checked out for Markham, Rock. He ended up pitching 5 innings, although not at 100%. And I think some of those concerns still carry over for this next start now.
Yeah, he did pitch pretty well, except for a 4th inning in which he gave up 4 runs. But other than that, you know, Markham, you know, between starts, I mean, his in-between side session went well. So hopefully, because of the bullpen situation from last night, Markham's going to be able to give Ron Renick at least 6 tonight.
Here is Melky Cabrera, a dangerous hitter in the Giants order. He was very good last night with 3 hits. He's currently 2nd in the league in batting behind David Wright. David Wright of the Mets is hitting .415 this late into the season. Cabrera at .360. He's popped a couple of homers and 17 runs batted in. And Rocky has 7 hits in his last 9 at-bats.
And this guy is something else. Switch hitter who is very good from both sides of the plate. And he's got speed, which means he's going to be able to leg out some infield hits. We've seen him flying around the bases in the 2 series that the Giants and Brewers have hooked up.
Cabrera leads the National League in total hits, has 62 hits for the season. And you see 2nd only to David Wright. Amazing that Wright has been able to keep his batting average over 400 this late in the year. Think we'll ever have a day when we have a 400 hitter in the big leagues again?
Man, who knows? That's a tall order these days.
1941.
It's a tall order, you know, any year, but you never know.
Many feel that is the unthinkable statistic, but you never know. And what is supposedly a year for the pitcher, got a couple of individuals putting up incredible numbers offensively, including David Wright. Cabrera lines 1 to right. Aoki cuts it off. On his way to 3rd goes Crawford. And Cabrera keeps on hitting. Boy, this guy is something else right now. He's 8 for his last 10. That gives him 12 hits in his last 17 at-bats.
Breaking ball up in the zone, and you know, watch the way Cabrera able to wait back and line it into right field. Well, he's just seeing the baseball very well. He's hitting the fastball. He's hitting the breaking pitches, staying back on changeups. And just one of those zones that a hitter gets in from time to time. And right now, Cabrera is right in the middle of one.
And looking like a hitter that could contend for a batting title this season. Melky Cabrera. He was a 300 hitter last year at Kansas City after a disappointing run in Atlanta. He's found a home with the Giants, hitting in front of Buster Posey. Posey jump-started the Giants last night with a 3-run first-inning homer. And he's up there with 2 on with 1 out here today in the first inning. That was Posey's 5th home run of the season yesterday. Finished 1 for 5. That was his last hit. Giants scored in the first inning yesterday. Didn't score again until the 14th. Big swing and a miss. Well, it was a no-doubter last night. Posey, with Randy Wolf struggling, a couple of walks. Posey jumped on that pitch, and his 5th home run, which ties him for the club lead right now. Giants don't hit a lot of homers. Posey's 5 homers at the top of the Giants statistical roster.
It was the only 3-batter stretch where Randy Wolf did not look very good last night. 2 walks, the home run, and he really settled down nicely.
Now a swing and a miss. Fooled him again with a breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
Markham's not going to give up on that breaking pitch. It looked like a changeup that goes down and away to Posey, maybe a cutter, maybe a slider. I've always said that for this pitching staff, Sean Markham is tough to determine what he's throwing out there.
Well, he'll do a lot of things with his off-speed pitches. He'll cut his changeup. He can move it both ways. And nothing he throws is straight, which is how Markham remains effective. As Posey fouls that one away, and he continues to chase. Now, last night, Randy Wolf went 7 innings, which was half of the game. The bullpen had to pick up the other half. And both managers are dealing with beleaguered bullpens here tonight. But Randy Wolf settled down and kicked it up to another gear after that 3-run first inning. And good for him. Hopefully that'll build into his next start. No decision last night for Randy Wolf. It was quite a game last night, a thriller. Unfortunately, the Brewers came up short despite having a number of opportunities to end the game. 1-2 to Posey, and a check on the runner at first. The Brewers come in 17-25, 6 games back of the Cardinals. Cardinals had a comeback win last night against the Padres. The Giants are 22-20. They're over 500, and yet they are 7 games back of their division leader, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, Dodgers just unconscious right now, playing some good baseball, and every aspect of their game has been very good. Even without Matt Kemp.
Now Matt Kemp on the disabled list with a hamstring injury. Dodgers are in Arizona tonight, a little bit later. While the Cardinals are just underway with the Padres tonight. Adam Wainwright is up for St. Louis. 2-2 to Posey. Doesn't chase that time. Count goes full. 3-2. Back-to-back singles in this first inning for the Giants. Brandon Crawford and Melky Cabrera there at the corners for Posey. Markham looking for a ground ball to get him out of this first inning. Runner goes, and a drive into left center. That ball's trouble. And Posey hops out of here. That's actually going to be in the favor of the Brewers. Going to send Cabrera back to third base. A run is in on a ground rule double by Buster Posey. who again strikes in the first inning.
Yeah, that curveball up in the zone. Posey this time able to wade back. The swings and misses by Markham, or the pitches from Markham early in the at-bat, were down and away. That one just lays up there in the zone. And Posey able to drive it hard, one hop over the fence. And as you mentioned, that's a break for Milwaukee. Melky Cabrera would have scored easily.
Posey dialed it up, his second hit of the series, producing his fourth run batted in. And it's second and third with one out. Give you an idea of how poorly the Brewers are swinging the bats right now. Ron Renicke's bringing the infield in the first inning.
Well, a combination of that, and a little bit of it has to do with the guy they're facing tonight, Matt Cain. He doesn't give up much.
Angel Pagan back in the lineup. He was out yesterday at an illness. And he lifts one into shallow left. Braun makes the catch. Cabrera will tag and score. And the Giants have a 2-0 lead on a sacrifice fly and an RBI from Angel Pagan. Well, not the start the Brewers were looking for tonight, especially after last night's heartbreak. 2 first inning runs on 3 hits for the Giants. 2 outs in the inning. And that'll bring up Aubrey Huff. Huff has been on the disabled list. Anxiety disorder. Has not started a game since the 21st of April when he left the field. He has been back on the active roster since May 7th, but Bochy has only used him an at-bat at a time in pinch hitting roles.
And last year plus have been tough on Aubrey Huff after a big season for the Giants when they won the World Series. Things haven't gone all that well.
Huff lifts one in the air to right. Aoki easing back, and he's got it for the out. So the side is retired, but the Giants get 2 first inning runs off Markham. From Buster Posey and Angel Pagan and Ron Renicke's club. Down to pairs. We're just underway here at Miller Park. The Piggly Wiggly batting order for the Brew Crew tonight. It is Nori Aoki leading off. Nigel Morgan batting second. Ryan Braun back in the lineup tonight. In the middle of the order, it is Ramirez, Lucroy, and Weeks. Bottom 3, Taylor Green, Cesares Torres, and Sean Markham. Corey Hart getting the day off. Matt Cain is on the mound, has one finisher this year. This is his 9th appearance, and a 2.67 earned run average, getting very little run support from the Giants when he pitches typically.
Yeah, coming off a year where he was 8th in the National League in earned run average at 288 in 33 starts last year. This guy's a tough one.
Matt Cain, 27 years of age, against the 30-year-old Nori Aoki. Getting a lot of playing time here lately. Normally he's in there against left-handed starters. He might have to readjust his sights here tonight against the right-hander Matt Cain.
Yeah, not used to it. And the numbers jump off the page at you with Matt Cain, although on the road he struggled a bit. 3 road starts, 1-1, and a 4.42 ERA. And we'll see how he fares here at Miller Park.
Brewers in an early hole, down 2-0. Which seems more significant against a pitcher like Matt Cain. Cain struck out 10 Brewers in his start against Milwaukee in San Francisco. He had a no decision. Signed a 5-year, $112 million contract prior to the season. As Aoki goes down the line, a fair ball. That's going to go all the way to the corner. Aoki racing around second, and he's on his way to third. And it'll be a triple for Nori Aoki. That's a way to start it.
Yeah, the Giants have shaded him around towards center with the right fielder. This time he's able to beat the shift. They were shifted way around toward the opposite field for Aoki. Rips one right down the line, an easy triple for Nori.
Second triple of the year. The Giants have a book on Aoki that says he cannot pull the baseball. You saw how far in the right center Gregor Blanco was. And he had a mile to go to get to this baseball. So a triple for Nori Aoki. And here is Nigel Morgan, an early chance to put some runs on the board against Matt Cain.
Well, it's an old cliche, but the better the pitcher, the more important it is to get him early. Get him early before he settles in. Nori picking him up and setting him down. He knew right away he was going to go to third base. They had a long way to go to Gregor Blanco down in that right field corner.
Aoki is safe at third, safe and secure. New York Life. And at third base to start the game offensively for Milwaukee. A lot of ways to score the run here. Nigel Morgan looking for his first RBI of the season. Has not driven in a run since he sent the Brewers to the NLCS last year. And a good opportunity to do it here. Been a very rough season for Nigel Morgan. Comes in batting .212. One of the things he's been able to do throughout his career is hit when he's gotten the chance. And he slaps that one into left. Cabrera is there. Here comes Aoki. Cabrera's got a great arm. The throw to the plate is in time for the out. Wow. Melky Cabrera can throw it with the best of them.
That is a heck of an arm right there, folks. All the way on the fly. Boy, what can't that guy do right now? My goodness. Even he has to smile about that one. Well, he gets his momentum going toward home plate, and look at this throw. Right on the money, all the way in the air, and Aoki an easy out at home. Notice Buster Posey, no interest in blocking home plate. I don't blame him.
That is the 5th outfield assist, and that was an extraordinary throw by Melky Cabrera. And just like that, 2 outs in the inning. And that's the way this season has gone for the Brewers. Well, at some point, you figure the Brewers are going to turn it around somehow. Get some things going their way, but it has been a battle.
Well, you thought it was going to, be after Sunday's game. 16 runs. They ran into a hot pitcher last night. Doesn't get any better tonight.
Ryan Braun back in the starting lineup. And after an injury last night, Braun's been dealing with an Achilles tightness, and that has basically rendered him not 100%, but last night it was a groin injury that sent him out of the ball game. are back in there tonight as he bounces one to short. Braun not running 100%. And after a leadoff triple, Cain ends up facing 3 batters. A great throw from Melky Cabrera. Snuffs out an opportunity to score against Matt Cain. And a reminder, for just $18 you can see the Brew Crew and the Zoo. Get 1 ticket to select Brewers games, 1 2012 admission ticket to Milwaukee County Zoo, plus a t-shirt. Visit brewers.com/zoo for more information. Second inning, and it'll be Joaquin Arias to lead it off for the Giants. Sean Markham giving up 2 runs on 3 hits in the first inning. Brewers had a chance with a leadoff triple, but a great throw from left field. Cabrera cuts down Aoki. Well, he got a lot of high fives in that dugout at the conclusion of that inning, especially from his starting pitcher, Matt Cain.
I think he surprised himself with that throw. That was a heck of a throw, man. Kind of like shades of Bo Jackson back in the old days. Goodness.
One and 2 to Arias. Doesn't bite on the breaking ball. Count evens at 2-2. Joaquin Arias comes in batting .236. Has 7 runs batted in. Had a couple of hits to right field yesterday. Arias was 2 for 6 last night.
Yeah, it looked like he was on his way to a big night. First 2 at-bats. Really hit the baseball well. Actually, first 3.
Had a line drive out to right field as well in last night's game. Had a triple in the game yesterday.
Made some nice defensive plays down at third base as well.
Arias is the guy that the Giants moved to third. He's a shortstop by trade. Played a little second base as well. But very little time at third base until this season, after the injury to Pablo Sandoval. He was out with a wrist injury that required surgery. A broken hamate bone in his wrist. Sandoval is coming back, though. Giants are looking forward to the day and hoping to just tread water until they do get Pablo Sandoval back and Ryan Theriot.
Although the Giants have played pretty well this last week and a half. They won 7 out of 10.
There's a swing and a miss. Markham strikes out Arias. Well, Sean Markham pitched to an injury in his last start. You had a chance to ask his manager, Ron Renicky, about that.
Markham's a gamer. He doesn't. He's got problems, and he still pitches. Like you said, he takes the ball. He'll go out there. He'll give you the innings. But certain pitchers that are gamers, you like to have out there as often as you can. And as much as he's hurting at times, sometimes he won't let us know.
And that really is a sign of a leader on a pitching staff. A guy like that, quiet guy, he's not afraid to goof around a little bit when the time calls for it. And he's the master of the pie in the face on the interviews, Sean Markham. But you get a guy like Markham who will go out there and pitch hurt. I mean, anytime you have a player that will play hurt, I mean, you get a lot of respect in that clubhouse.
Now Markham is all business on the days he pitches, and there's a lot of concern prior to his last start. Brewers were in a bit of a desperate spot, and it looked like maybe it was going to be a bullpen by committee day, but Markham said, I'm going to try to pitch through it. It was, as he puts it, a cramping under his rib cage, so it was a little tugging at his side. He wasn't sure. He knew it wasn't something serious, but wasn't sure if it would develop into more than that. And that's really the biggest challenge for professional athletes, to know the difference between pain and injury. And you certainly, if you're injured, can't go out there and expect to perform. But sometimes when you have pain, you can. And Markham proved that in Houston and bought Ron Renicky and Rick Kranitz 5 big innings.
And pitched well. He really did. And one bad inning, but other than that, it was a good outing.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Burris. Taps one foul. Emmanuel Burris getting the call at second base. Only position player that did not play in yesterday's game for the Giants was Angel Pagan. But he did come out and act as a decoy in the 14th inning in the on-deck circle, setting up the most memorable at-bat of the night in Santiago Casilla. At least the most humorous at-bat of the night. The Giants pitcher who won the game, not so much at the plate. Burris to Lucroy for the second out. 2 gone.
And not sure why Burris didn't run. That was a fair ball. He just stood there in the batter's box. That doesn't look good.
Is there carryover after a game like that? 14 innings for the next day?
Shouldn't be, especially if you win. You mean for not running to first base?
No, I mean just in general with all of these players, because just watching batting practice today for both teams and anxious to see how the energy level was today. It just seemed like business as usual for these two teams.
These are young guys. I mean, they're not old guys like us in the booth.
That's true.
They're in their 20s, maybe early 30s.
Outside of the bullpen scenario for both managers, things are pretty much status quo for tonight's game. Renicky certainly has pitchers he wants to avoid here tonight. But again, you just don't know how the game will play out. Ideally, you'd like to get 6 or 7 out of Markham and turn it over to K-Rod and John Axford. Your winning combination of pitchers, your setup man and your closer. But the Brewers have started in a hole. 2 runs in the first for the Giants. Matt Cain is a threat at the plate. Has 5 career homers. A good athlete who can handle the bat. Matt Cain's so good that they break down his offensive statistics. Hitting .211 this season with 4 hits, has 2 doubles, 2 runs batted in, a career .122 hitter. So he's having a breakout year at the plate, Rob.
Right. That career .122, nothing to really sing and dance about, but .211, not a bad start to his year this year.
5 career homers, his last being last September against the Colorado Rockies. So you got to make your pitches against Kane, and Markham certainly knows that. The 3-2, and that one's in there for a called strike 3. 1-2-3 inning from Markham. Couple of Ks. Off triple, a scoreless first inning. And we head to the bottom of the second. Here is the defense behind Kane. You've already seen Melky Cabrera. Angel Pagan's back in there tonight with Gregor Blanco in right. Infield of Arias, Crawford, Burris, and Aubrey Huff. Buster Posey does the catching. An all-star battery with Posey and Matt Cain. Aubrey Huff back at first base tonight. Huff already an at-bat in this game. He flew out to right field against Markham. So Kane ready to go to work. Aramis Ramirez will lead off for the Brewers. Ramirez comes in batting .219 for the season. Just 3 homers, 22 driven in. Brewers certainly need his bat to get going. A bouncer over to third. Long throw. Arias, who has a very good arm. And Ramirez is retired. A Farmers Insurance report card. Matt Cain, and we're looking at his run support. For the season, Cain is getting 3.77 runs of support. Down toward the bottom of the league, but check out these numbers, Rock. When he gets 3 or more, he's 61-9. He doesn't need much more than what he's getting this season.
And not only is he tough, he throws strikes. He doesn't beat himself. He doesn't walk many. And his career earned run average about as good as it gets. You give this guy 3 runs, but sometimes it's a challenge for the Giants. There's no beating him.
Cain facing Jonathan Lucroy. One of the few hot hitters the Brewers have between Braun and Lucroy. And perhaps Nori Aoki. That's been about it offensively. And Lucroy drives one in the gap in right center. And Blanco cannot cut it off. Lucroy's got a chance for 3. He's on his way. The throw comes in. Lucroy hits the deck. Safe with a triple.
I'd say that approach for Jonathan Lucroy is exceptional. Thinking up the middle and that right center field gap. He has worn out that gap all year. And check it out. That was a slider down the middle. And Lucroy able to pound it into the right center field gap. And that will be a triple. And Blanco did his best to try and cut it off. Had he done that, he would have held Lucroy to a double. He says catchers can't run.
Yeah, by the way, that's his 4th triple of the year for Jonathan Lucroy. And he's at third base with one out. The Brewers have 2 triples already, Aoki and Lucroy, and see if they can cash one in here in this second inning against Kane. Lucroy came in 7th in the league in hitting, and that'll go up with that triple.
Just a tough guy to defend because he shoots the ball all over the field. You give him something, middle in, he'll pull it down the line in left. Off speed away, he drives it into the gap in right center. Boy, he's really swinging the bat well.
Ricky Weeks getting in the 6th spot tonight in a run producing position as Kane puts a fastball by him. 1-2 the count. Well, this is a spot where the Giants are willing to concede the run. A lot of ways to score that runner from third, even with an out. What Kane is looking for is a strikeout in this spot against Weeks, who has struck out plenty this year. The 1-2. Down he goes. Out number 2. Weeks is gone on strikes.
And Kane tries to elevate the fastball, got it up around the letters, and Ricky comes up empty. That's a pitch the Brewers have to lay off of tonight.
So 2 outs, it'll be up to Taylor Green. Hoping to pick up Weeks here in the second inning. Green getting to start at first base tonight. Corey Hart, the day off. Corey Hart said he was in the full grinder playing first base for the first time since 2006, or at least his first start at first base yesterday. And he put 14 innings worth as Green lifts one in the air to center field, and that is going to do it. The Brewers, with 2 triples tonight, have not been able to score. Inning from Miller Park. This MLB on Fox season, Fox Sports is proud to support Boys and Girls Clubs of America, a place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. Giants with 2 in the first. RBI double by Posey, then a sac fly from Angel Pagan. Matt Cain has stranded 2 base runners at third base in the first 2 innings. Brewers have had a runner at third, less than 2 outs twice, have been unable to deliver him home. Back to the top of the Giants order. Gregor Blanco leads off, and he takes a strike from Markham.
Yeah, those opportunities don't come all that often against a guy like Matt Cain. You have to cash in, especially when they're conceding a run. You hit the ball on the ground, get a run in. It sounds easy when you're sitting up here, but it's a little bit more difficult when you're facing Matt Cain in that batter's box.
A strikeout pitcher who picked up a big one against Ricky Weeks for the second out. Now, neither one of these pitchers get much run support. Markham is getting a little over 4 runs per game, while Matt Cain at 3.77. Cain is among the starters for the Giants, the fourth lowest for a Giant starter. Barry Zito and Bumgarner, Lincecum all getting more runs of support than Matt Cain. And the Brewers break down as far as run support. Zach Greinke is now getting 6+ runs per game of support after that 16-run outburst on Sunday.
Yeah, it's a little jaded.
And then you have Randy Wolf, 4.2 runs of support. Giovanni Gallardo, interestingly enough, just 3.2 runs per game from his offense. There's a swing and a miss. Struck him out with a changeup as Gregor Blanco is strikeout victim number 3. Carsoup.com email the boot question tonight comes from Terry in Green Bay. How do you see the race in the NL West shaping up? And right now it's the Los Angeles Dodgers with the best record in the National League. Matter of fact, the best record in all of baseball. Dodgers are 29-13. A 7-game lead over the second place Giants. Dodgers have won 5 in a row.
And the amazing thing, they're doing it without Matt Kemp. I mean, arguably the best all-around hitter, in that division, and one of the best in all of baseball. They're still 8-2 in their last 10 games. They got great pitching, some surprising pitching. Capuano, Aaron Harang, but for the Giants, they've got some pretty good pitching too. They get Sandoval back swinging the bat. They can make some noise.
Yeah, that's going to change their offense a little bit when Sandoval does return, and he is expected back. Probably get him back in the middle of the summer on the All-Star break, and that'll be a nice pickup for the Giants, and you figure he'll be healthy and with fresh legs for the home stretch of the season. But the Giants have excellent pitching. They'd like to tighten up their defense a little bit. They've committed more errors than any other National League team, and still they have Lincecum, who's not pitching all that well. But Bumgarner is moving into that upper echelon territory. He pitched last night, went 7 2/3. Offensively, they're struggling a little bit. If you're going to have a good pitching staff, that is a good league or a good division to pitch in. A lot of pitcher-friendly ballparks in the National League West.
San Diego, San Fran, L.A.
That one's hit high in the air to center, and Morgan will ease under it. Out number 2. So here comes Melky Cabrera, who's already impacted this game with his bat and his arm. Runner at third, nobody out in the first. Cabrera guns down Nori Aoki.
Yeah, that's a heck of a play. I mean, that fly ball looked like that was going to be a short run. Looked like it was plenty deep to score Aoki. Melky Cabrera had different ideas. That's a heck of a throw. That might be one of the best throws we've seen this year.
Hard to do it any better than that. He's always had a great arm, and he has controlled running games for a good part of his career. Played mostly center field in his career, but certainly has a right fielder's arm. But you put him in left, and I'm surprised teams are running on him as much as they are. He has 5 outfield assists already this year.
Yeah, they'll stop. That won't go on for long. That ball that Morgan hit, that wasn't a shallow fly ball to left. That was average depth in left field down the line. And it wasn't even close.
Ball and a strike on Cabrera. Now hitting .364 with his single in the first inning. That preceded the Buster Posey RBI double. That one's in there for a strike. 2-2 on the breaking ball. Cabrera had to be lifted from the lineup last week Had a toe injury. He was out last Wednesday, but came back strong, and he has been red hot at the plate since he returned. Not this time. Markham finds the corner. Cabrera is rung up. And a 1-2-3 inning for Sean Markham. Picks up another strikeout. Is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. Matt Cain ready to go here in the bottom of the third inning. 2-0 Giants. 2 first inning runs for San Francisco. Cesar Izturis leads off for the Brewers. And a bouncer back to the mound. Cain at 6'3" makes that with no problem. One gone. Even when the game isn't on, you can still see all the plays and at-bats that matter most during Brewers squeeze play. It's a 30-minute condensed version of select non-televised games. You can catch the action from the Brewers and the Giants tomorrow, the final game of the series, on a special Brewers squeeze play tomorrow night, 7 p.m. on Fox Sports Wisconsin. One out for Markham. Cain's given up 2 hits, 2 triples. Brewers have been unable to scratch a run off Matt Cain as he deals Markham a strike. Markham has 1 hit this year. He's 1 for 16 at the plate. Much better hitter than those numbers would indicate. As that one goes down the line. Markham with extra bases. And he's going to challenge Melky Cabrera. The throw comes in late. Markham with a stand-up double. So it's the pitcher joining the act. The Brewers have 3 extra base hits already against Cain.
1 in each inning. This time Sean Markham able to hook one just inside the third base bag and roll it down the corner down there and left. Markham will give you a pretty good hack up there. He won't get cheated. And once again, the Brewers with the man in scoring position against Matt Cain. Got to plate this guy. Top of the order coming up.
Brewers had a runner at third with nobody out in the first. Couldn't score. Runner at third with 1 out last inning. Came up empty. Now Markham at second. Top of the order. Aoki. Norichka with a triple in the first. And was thrown out by Cabrera. Aoki looked as surprised as anyone that Cabrera was able to get that throw there.
I don't think it's a surprise is Ed Cedar, though. Eddie telling Nori, go ahead. Of course, that's a no-brainer to take off on that one. I don't think anybody thought that Cabrera was going to be able to throw that one right on the money from that distance, all the way on the fly. It's one thing to have a good arm and to show it off. It's another to have a good arm and be able to put it like he did. Right on the money, and that's what it took to get him out.
It narrowly missed Aoki. It actually almost hit him. It just sliced right around his left arm as he was getting into his slide. One and two, and Aoki takes a ball away. Check out this throw. It went right over his shoulder.
Good concentration by Buster Posey.
Posey, you might remember, suffered a season-ending ankle injury on a collision at the plate, and he is the king of the swipe tag at this point, and that's on orders from his manager as Aoki strikes out. It was one of the more gruesome injuries you'll see, and it was certainly one that created a lot of stir. Scott Cousins of the Marlins crashing into Buster Posey. His leg got caught underneath. His ankle was completely destroyed, had to be surgically repaired. And it cost him the rest of the season. It was right about this time last year. He had a long rehab process. And Rock, you can appreciate this. He said, I will come back and I will catch, because I'm a catcher.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk that he'd just play first base and that would help him in his recovery and maybe be a little easier on his ankle.
Well, he has played some first base this year. They have a pretty good one, you know, on that bench. Hector Sanchez, he has gotten some big hits against Milwaukee. He can hit.
Morgan bounces to second, and the Brewers are going to come up empty again. 3 straight innings with a runner at scoring position, and still a 0 for Matt Cain. Brought to you by GMC. Buster Posey back at it again. He belted a 3-run homer yesterday in the first, this time an RBI double. Angel Pagan back in the starting lineup. He responded right away with a sacrifice fly. 2 first-inning runs for the Giants. Melky Cabrera's throwing arm. The story so far, Brewers knocking at the door in the first. Guns down Aoki. And a double play it turned out to be. Cain worked around a 1-out triple in the second. Pitched around a 1-out double in the third, and he still has a 0 on the board. 2-0 San Francisco as we go to the fourth. Our AT&T trivia question tonight, it's a good one. Which 3 active pitchers have more consecutive seasons with 200 or more innings than Matt Cain? So there's only 3 that have more than Matt Cain. We talked about Cain being a workhorse as we hit the air tonight, and the 200 inning plateau for a starting pitcher is kind of the magic number. That's the badge of honor for a starter. Matter of fact, you hear pitcher slang, they say 30 plus, 200 plus,
right,
which means they want to make at least 30 starts and pitch in at least 200 innings. And if you've done that, You've been effective, and you've been injury-free.
25 years ago, it was 300 innings.
Right. 200. That's a bad year.
That's a relief pitcher.
Posey right off the end of the bat. Green will shovel it to Markham for the first out. Taylor Green, not a first baseman by trade. He was actually a shortstop coming up in college. He was drafted as a shortstop. But he's learning the position. His best position right now is second base. It's most comfortable, but he said he likes first base. Gets him into the action. He feels like he's a part of every play over there.
It's kind of been the theme at first base for Milwaukee this year, right?
Boy, the Brewers have had some first basemen.
Yeah.
After Matt Gamel's injury.
Well, Matty wasn't a first baseman either.
Yeah, he moved to the position prior to last season.
You've had Brooks Conrad over there. You've had Ishikawa, Corey Hart, Taylor Green. Am I missing anybody?
George Kataris.
George Kataris says he hasn't started over there, has he?
No. But he
yeah, he's played over there.
Came in a few innings. Takes ground balls over there every day. Pagan fouls it away. I think the scouting report on Angel Pagan today, beware of the weary. Baseball is a game where the more relaxed you are, the better you succeed.
Right.
And sometimes when you're a little off, you're feeling a little ill. Kind of like my partner here tonight, who's on top of his game, I think. Sometimes you have some of your best days.
You don't try and do too much when you're down there on a day like that. A lot of times, if you know a guy's been sick and he's lost some weight, you want to pound him inside with fastballs and see if you can turn on him. But yeah, I mean, the guy's not feeling well. They're real relaxed at the plate. And basically the goal for that day when you don't feel well, get through the game, get back to the hotel and get some rest.
And more often than not, you usually have a good game. There's a bouncer to second. Weeks, a tough hop. Makes a play for the second out. Fan Sunday, June 3rd, is a Time Warner Cable customer appreciation game. Bring last month's Time Warner Cable billing statement to the Miller Park box office for a buy one, get one free terrace ticket offer. We are approaching the final days of school and officially will lock into the summer and big fun here at Miller Park. Kids can stay up late, don't have to worry about getting up early for school.
And you got Dollar Clements hot dogs tonight.
Very good.
Small Pepsi. Now I know why Mike Faulkner had a handful of hot dogs before the game.
Yep, our cracked stats man, Mike Faulkner, he sprung for dinner tonight.
I was wondering. I mean, he's not a guy that's going to whip out $5,
no,
is he?
Not really.
For 5 hot dogs,
not
he would.
Typically, he's not. But tonight, he was the man who fed the whole crew up here in the booth. Way to go, Mike. You know, a good stats man can do the math. $1 hot dog. He's got a $5 bill.
I'm buying.
It's on me. Of course, he ate 3 of those. Aubrey Huff with 2 away. Big shift on for Huff. Got Ricky Weeks out in the outfield grass. Playing Huff to pull. And he does pull. He pulls it foul. I want to send out a shout out to our terrific crew after that 14-inning game last night with no commercials.
Right.
Went about 4 hours commercial free last night, and our crew outstanding. Producer Chris Withers, director Kevin Shank, and Brian Mikologic. Our camera guys, audio technicians, video. That was a big effort last night as Huff draws the walk.
And really with no way to prepare for something like that. I mean, you don't figure that's going to happen.
We had technical difficulties in our master control, so we just stayed here. We had the easy job. We just got to talk baseball.
Yeah, talk baseball and do what we do. Business as usual up here.
Well, it was a very good game. It was entertaining. Unfortunately, it was the Giants who came out on top with a 14th inning home run. The two catchers last night for the Giants did the damage. Posey had a 3-run homer in the first. Hector Sanchez, who replaced Posey on a double switch, hit the game winner, what proved to be the game winner in the 14th. 2 outs for Arias after the Aubrey Huff walk.
Yeah, Hector Sanchez has 2 game winners against Milwaukee.
Yeah, how about that?
First 4 games, 1 in San Francisco.
Giants are 4-1 in extra inning games. Quick trip to the mound for Jonathan Lucroy.
His final out seems to be hard to come by for Markham.
Markham had put a little run together before the walk to Huff. Had retired 9 straight after the Posey double. The always fidgety Sean Markham. If you saw Markham for the first time, like we did when we saw him for the first time last year, you'd think he was in total agony on the mound. He's in pain, and he's just always got the moving parts. Whatever he shakes off and whatever body part at that particular moment. All part of the plan for Sean Markham.
Anything to try and make the hitter feel a little bit uncomfortable. Any kind of an edge that you can get. He knows what he's doing.
Pitching to Sean Markham is like sitting in the dentist chair. He's kind of squirming around a little bit. You don't really know, except when you know, Renee Hoffman, our stage manager, is at work. Right. That's different. No offense, Renee. Foul back out of play. Invariably, as we go through the season, we'll have, you know, other broadcasters or broadcasters from other teams, other writers. They'll come in and they'll say, is he okay? Is Sean Markham all right? He looks like he's hurt. No, he's fine.
He's just fine. And he's been fine for a long time.
Well, he's been one of the Brewers' most consistent starting pitchers this season. After a shoulder injury this spring, a lot of questions whether Markham was going to be able to open the season on the active roster. Made just a couple of spring training appearances, but he did make his first start, and
it was a good one.
Has been reliable ever since.
First start against the Cubs, 89 pitches, 3 runs, 6 innings, and he picked up a win.
Has just 2 wins. He's 2-2. His other win was also against the Cubs, going 7 innings in that one. Hasn't pitched more than 7 innings this year in a start, but he's done that 3 times. Huff goes. Arias lifts that one deep left field. Braun can only watch this one go way out of here. And a 2-out, 2-run homer for Joaquin Arias. And the Giants have a 4-0 lead as Arias belts his first home run of the season.
Sean Markham was in a rocking chair before walking Aubrey Huff. Got ahead of Arias, couldn't put him away, and there's the fastball, middle in, and Arias had a pretty good day at the plate yesterday, knocks one out of here.
First career home run for Joaquin Arias, who has had brief stints in the big leagues dating back to 2006. But he's never homered in the major leagues until now, and it's a 2-run shot, giving Matt Cain and the Giants a 4-0 lead. Good bunt. Burris. Markham's throw is in time for the out, in a collision at first base. Burris and Green come together. And let's hope everybody's all right. That ends the inning. But the Giants get 2 on a Joaquin Arias 2-run homer. 4-0 San Francisco. To the Joaquin Arias home run. Ryan Braun will lead off this 4th inning. Check our Powerball home run count. Braun, memorable home run last night. Unfortunately, didn't turn into a Brewers win. But it certainly was a big moment. Braun launched one nearly 460 feet. His 12th home run. And it tied the ball game. And the Powerball home run leaderboard has Braun at the top of the list. Just one behind Carlos Beltran for the National League lead. Corey Hart has 9, not in the lineup tonight. Brewers are going to need to find some offense. They've been getting their hits, but have been unable to cash in against Matt Cain. As Braun leads off. 3 hits for the Brewers, 1 in each inning. 2 triples and a double. But Cain has been able to work out of it on each occasion. Starting play today, Braun 8th in the league in batting, hitting .333 to open play, 2nd in homers and 6th in the league in RBIs. Has 30 runs batted in. He also leads the National League in total bases, has 99 of them. Had 15 of those 99 in one game. Record-setting day for Braun in San Diego.
After a bit of a sluggish start, it's the Ryan Braun of old. Nothing wrong with him.
Cain drops a breaking ball in there for a strike. Braun's numbers against Matt Cain. Rock talked about his success against him. He's 7 for 18. Make it 7 for 19 now after the ground out. Not many put up numbers like that against this pitcher. Fly ball shallow right. Coming in is Blanco. And Braun is retired. Oh, there was a collision at first base to end the last half inning. Marco made a great play to get the speedy Burris. And see, Burris clipped him with his back leg. He went tumbling, and they're keeping an eye on Taylor Green. And
he just hit the bag the wrong way. I mean, I don't even think that Taylor Green was even touched, or barely. Just kind of hit the bag wrong and went over.
Nice play by Markham to end the inning. And Green no worse for the wear. Ramos Ramirez with one away. Ramirez bounced out. First time up. A 5-3 put out. Well, he'd love to get a base runner here for Jonathan Lucroy, the way he's swinging the bat. And Ramirez is going to send one down the line, a base hit. Sounded like he broke his bat, and Ramirez will not challenge the fastball of Melky Cabrera. But it is a single for Ramos Ramirez, and there's a base runner for Lucroy.
That's a 2-1 slider that Ramirez is able to wait back just long enough to get the end of the bat on it. They're able to hook it into left field, so the Brewers have been able to get a hit in each of the first 4 innings.
Four hits, the first single of the game, 2 triples and a double. And here is Lucroy. Giants lead 4-0. Brewers have to get to work quickly here. Lucroy playing like an all-star this season. That is a tough group to break into in the National League catching corps, with catchers like Buster Posey and Yadier Molina, Carlos Ruiz, Brian McCann. Some of the best catchers in baseball in the National League.
Yeah, Carlos Ruiz is in the top 10 in hitting in the National League. I mean, he's having a great year at the plate.
He has been the Phillies' best hitter. And that's a challenge sometimes for a team when your catcher is your best hitter, because you can't ask your catcher to play every day.
Yeah, Ruiz is 5th in the league in batting.
Lucroy started the day 7th in the league. Well, Jonathan Lucroy, over his last 24, a significant stretch of games, hitting .378. Brewers always felt like he was going to be a hitting catcher. He spent so much time trying to learn the pitching staffs and the opposing hitters, the game planning, the defensive part of catching, that his offense was slower to come, even though he put up decent numbers offensively last year and the year before that. But Ron Renicky predicted an outburst, and he drills that one into the gap in left center. Ramirez on his horse. He's got a chance to score. Around third, he's going to be held.
Yep, good call.
Ramirez stopped at third base. Lucroy with a double, his 8th.
That's a good decision by Ed Cedar. Ramirez not the fastest guy in the world, and you're down by 4 runs. You're only making outs on the bases down by 4. But Lucroy gets a pitch middle in, and this is what he does. You give him one in off the plate, he will rip it into left field. Ramirez right away on his horse, but down by 4 runs, you don't want to take any chances. Ramirez not running all that well.
So it's 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. And the Brewers again with a golden opportunity here.
Part of the responsibility of the third base coach is to know who is running and how fast they can get around the bases. And, of course, to score. More importantly.
Both cutoff men for the Giants. Whoever would have taken that throw, they have great arms. Crawford is the one who ended up with it. And that would have been an easy out at home plate with a decent throw. So now it puts Ricky Weeks back in the spotlight. Weeks was up last time with a runner at third and 1 out, and Kane struck him out. Got him with a high fastball.
Only 4 innings in a row with a man in scoring position off of Matt Kane. That doesn't happen often.
And you see Kane, who's been hovering around the 90-91 mile per hour range. He has that extra gear. That's what makes him so tough. He has a little bit more to offer when he gets in trouble. Good pitch in the mid-90s, 93, 94 miles an hour. 2 balls and a strike on Weeks. And he hits that one hard into left center field. That's down for a base hit. Off the wall. 2 runs will score. Weeks around second. He'll stop there with a double. And welcome back, Ricky Weeks.
Boy, how good does that feel for Ricky? Wow. Boy, did he need that. He was finally able to break through on Matt Kane. Fastball straight as a string, and Ricky hits it like a rope out into center field. Played pretty well by Pagan out there in center. Both runners score. Ricky has to stay at second because Pagan played the angles out there in center field pretty well.
Thinking a higher power, and Weeks, it has been a season-long battle. Can't hit it much harder than that as he bangs one off the center field wall. That one didn't get 30-40 feet off the ground. And it's a ringing double for Weeks. 4-2 is the score. The Brewers cut their deficit in half. Still just one out. Taylor Green at the plate.
And if the Brewers hope to get back to 500, Ricky Weeks is going to have to be a big part of it. Got to get him going.
Well, for Weeks, just his 8th and 9th RBIs of the season. 2 big ones here in the 4th. Green takes a strike. Green's always been a good hitter through the Brewers minor league system. Twice named minor league player of the year. Well, he knows he's in the big leagues because of his bat. He's not a great defender at any position, but he's a baseball player. He has very good instincts. Renicky was impressed with Taylor Green this spring. Loves his approach at the plate. I would love to see him or someone take the reins at first base.
Man, Renicky doesn't care who it is, as long as somebody starts swinging the bat.
You know, Travis Ishikawa's done a nice job when he started, but picked and choose the spots where he plays. Ishikawa's left-handed as well, which is why Corey Hart is in the mix as a right-handed batter at first. That's a foul ball called quickly by the home plate umpire Tim Timmons. Hart with a day off.
I may see him late in the game.
Not a bad option off the bench for Ron Renicky tonight. Full count to Taylor Green. Ricky Weeks at second. Just drove in a pair with a double. And a swing and a miss. That high fastball. Chase ball 4. 2 outs.
Man, think about Ricky Weeks and that swing is all hands, and watch how quickly that bat is in and out of the strike zone, which means his timing has to be just right. And when it is, this is what can happen. He can hit some ropes out into the outfield. And sometimes when that timing's off, that bat is in, out of the strike zone. That's why you see so many swings and misses.
Cesar Izturis now with 2 away. Takes a strike from Kane. Izturis, a little flare on a hop. Nice play, Crawford. And the side is retired. Brewers strand a runner at second, but get 2 big ones. Ricky Weeks driving in a pair. Ramirez with a 1-out single. Lucroy follow with a double. And Weeks brings them on home.
For the 5th inning, time to check in with the crew in the community. The 14th annual famous Racing Sausages 5K run and walk is scheduled for July 28th this year, starting at the Sausage House in the Miller Park parking lot. Registration forms are available online at brewers.com and must be turned in by July 18th. Brian?
All right, Telly, thank you. As we move to the 5th inning, and it'll be Matt Cain, the Giants pitcher, to lead off. Sean Markham surrendering 2 runs in the 1st inning. Posey and Pagan with RBIs in that inning. Then a 2-run homer by Joaquin Arias in the 4th. Broken bat, look out. Cain will be retired as he shatters his bat for out number 1. Well, tonight's tavern of the game winner is Wells Brothers Restaurant in Racine. And if the tavern contact calls the Milwaukee Brewers in the next 24 hours at 414-902-4572, Wells Brothers in Racine will receive 40 Miller Lite beer pin tickets to a 2012 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Matt Cain getting sawed off in a major way.
Yeah, look at that bat, just shatters right in half. Cain goes back and never did get out of the batter's box. That pitch wasn't even that far inside.
That kind of ricocheting almost hit him in the neck. Top of the order now, Gregor Blanco. A little scary here for Cain. Look how close to that right ear and the neck that the end of that bat came. That could have done some damage, a splintered bat.
And that was on a check swing. That must not have been a very good piece of wood. You know, pitchers don't get the greatest, bats. Even guys that, sign big contracts.
Right. They get the B team lumber.
They get the stock bats.
I wonder whose bat Santiago Casilla used last night.
He did foul one off, though. That was great.
That was one of the more memorable moments from the 14-inning game. Santiago Casilla at the plate and Banana Man, who I believe is back in the ballpark tonight. Yes, he is. I think Banana Man has now embraced his Rally Banana moniker, but you got to be careful. Fame is a scary thing. He's doctored up his banana suit. It's a solid look. Attracting a crowd. He was repelling a crowd last night.
Got a million things I'd like to say, but you just better not, right? Yeah. You don't want to get on the fans at all.
We've seen a little more Banana Man than we'd like, actually. 1-2 on Blanco. Count stays at 1-2 strikes. Oh, that didn't miss by much. 2-2. Good take by Blanco.
Yeah, a little bit down. Just barely.
Blanco was 0 for 6 in that 14-inning game last night. 0 for 2 tonight. A batting average buster.
Weren't too many guys in that game last night that had good offensive nights.
Yeah, Brewers had just 6 hits in the 14 innings.
Pitchers dominated.
3-2, and that one's on the inside corner. A called strike 3.
That took one too many.
5 strikeouts for Sean Markham as he goes back to the inside corner for the punch out.
And good pitch. Everything away, everything down. He comes inside and Blanco took it.
So Markham with 2 outs facing Brandon Crawford. Out in front of a changeup. Crawford had a memorable first hit for the Giants. It came against Sean Markham. It was a grand slam homer last year here at Miller Park. Not a bad way to start your big league career.
Right.
That one's in there, a fastball. Markham doesn't throw hard, but his 88-mile-an-hour fastball compared to his low 80s changeup, upper 70s changeup, looks a lot faster.
And with the way he locates it, it makes it even quicker.
Hitters will tell you what makes him so tough. His changeup, fastball, curveball, they all look the same out of the hand. Everything is from the same slot, same speed. But every pitch does something just a little bit different. And the changeup and the fastball are the 2 complementary pitches because they have the exact same spin. Changeup just comes in there 10 miles an hour slower.
And even when you're watching on the monitor up here, it's tough to determine what he's throwing.
2-2. Markham trying to retire the Giants in order. And Crawford lays off. Boy, that didn't miss by much either. Full count to Crawford.
A lot of close pitches and a lot of check swings and clearly off the outside corner with the breaking ball.
Well, we'll see what he does with him here. 3-2. Lucroy sets up outside and a fastball hit in the air, center field, long run. Morgan at the wall. He's got it. Crawford gave it a ride. But Markham retires the side in order in the 5th. Four-2 is our score. The Giants lead the Brewers as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, and the 2 pitchers will square off here. Looked like a gate was open down the left field line. Good to have you with us. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin tonight. fully operational this evening. Commercials and everything. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder, Telly Hughes, Chris Withers, and Kevin Shank manning the operations in the truck as Markham squirts one foul. Homestand continues tomorrow, wraps up tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Final game of the series with the Giants. And we're not on television tomorrow. That is a matinee businessman special tomorrow afternoon. First pitch is a little after the noon hour. So hope you can make plans to be with us at Miller Park. We'll be here practicing.
Marco Estrada against Barry Zito, who has seemed to have found the fountain of youth this year. 3-1, a 3.00 earned run average. Marco looking for his first win on the season.
Estrada's 0-3, an ERA at 4.63. Forced into the starting rotation after the season-ending shoulder surgery to Chris Narveson. Sean Markham doubled his last time up. Sent one right down the left field line, just inside the bag at third. And a big cut, down he goes. Kane with a strikeout. Now, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers Baseball Club. Nori Aoki with one away, back to the top of the order in the third time through the order for Matt Cain. Aoki hitting .290 now, his updated batting average, which is very impressive. Facing pitchers that he has never seen. Studying a lot of video, a lot of scouting reports, and you can read all you want and watch as much video as you want, but there's nothing like facing a guy
right
in the flesh, and he is acquiring knowledge. I'm anxious to see how Aoki performs when we play teams for the second time. You know, you get into the Central Division a little bit when he is batting against pitchers that he's seen more than once.
The scouting reports don't really help you a whole lot until you get into that batter's box, like you talked about. But to say the guy has a good moving fastball and a cutter, that's all well and good until you get into the batter's box and see what it does. It's all new to him.
What's been impressive about Aoki, he's done most of this against left-handed pitching. As he bounces over to Arias, and there is out number 2 for Matt Cain. Well, Brewers fans, this season is your opportunity to get involved in our broadcast over a wide range of social media options. You can tweet your comments and questions to our Twitter handle. That's @FSWisconsin. We'll choose some of the best each night and put them on the air. You can also follow along with the pulse of social media on our Game Connect page over at foxsportswisconsin.com. @FSWisconsin.com. Or that's the Twitter handle, I beg your pardon, @FSWisconsin. foxsportswisconsin.com is
right
online. So either way, however you choose. How's that Brewers Fantasy Camp Twitter page coming along, Rock? I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, it's coming along, and we will have that up presently.
Does it have a name yet, or we're still in the
Brewers Fan Camp, @Brewers Fan Camp? I think that's what it is.
Still in the what are we calling that? The rehab stages. Morgan squirts one down the line, and he will hold at first. Cabrera had him play toward the line and shallow. Well, Nigel Morgan with a 2-out hit.
Well, more importantly, he extended the inning to bring up Ryan Braun to perhaps tie it up. A cut fastball from Kane left it down the middle, and Nigel didn't try and pull it. That's what Nigel did so well last year. Taking everything to the opposite field. A lot of hits over there.
Well, Braun stepping in, representing the tying run. Ryan is 0 for 2 against Kane tonight. The Brewers have 7 hits against Matt Cain as we play in the 5th inning. Braun has been a hot hitter, and he has pushed his way into the top 10 in most of the major offensive categories. Morgan takes off. Braun swings. Pop up behind second base for the final out of the inning. Sean Markham back on the mound. And a reminder that the Packers started organized team activities today in Green Bay, Rock. That's big news. Find out what's new with the team's veteran players in Paul Emmig's story at foxsportswisconsin.com. Organized team activities. OTAs, yes. Well done. AT&T trivia question. Which 3 active pitchers have more consecutive seasons with 200+ innings than Matt Cain? There's only 3 that have been able to do it. Mark Burley, 11, Dan Herron, and Roy Halladay.
Yeah.
A testament to good health.
Well, you know, Matt Cain has never missed a start because of injury. They've skipped him in the past. I mean, they've done that from time to time, but he has never had to be on the disabled list, and he's never had to miss a start.
Melky Cabrera leads off, a swing and a miss.
Now, there's a guy you give a 5-year deal to.
Right. Well, and a lot of discussion. You know, Tim Lincecum, there's no long-term contract in the offer right now. Cain has proven he can be a horse. He's a big, strong right-hander. He's 6'3", 230. Just 27 years of age. He signed the largest contract for a right-handed pitcher. Kevin Brown had the mark. There's been a lot of comparisons to Kevin Brown and Matt Cain, and Brown did it. It was over a decade ago. But the thing about Brown and Cain, Matt Cain, when he finishes this 5-year deal, will be the same age as Brown was when he started that 5-year contract, and that was a shock the world deal, $100 million contract for Kevin Brown.
That's a big difference, isn't it?
Markham walks Melky Cabrera. He continues to be a thorn in the Brewers' side. Has a hit tonight, now a walk, and it's Buster Posey with a man on. And a frustrated look from Sean Markham.
Now look for Melky Cabrera to perhaps try and steal a base. I mean, he has been running very well this year. We talked about last night that he lost some weight over the offseason. He has been getting around those bases very well.
Cabrera has 6 steals this season. And you figure with Posey representing a double play chance, see Cabrera on the move. Although Markham does a good job holding runners close to first. He's a pitcher that gives his catcher a chance to throw out a runner trying to steal a base.
He gets rid of it quickly, and sometimes when you have a guy like Mark and a lot of off-speed pitches, a lot of pitches down in the zone, it's tough for a catcher to get rid of the baseball quickly. I'm not sure where it's going to end up, but he does a good job holding him close.
That one's hit high in the air to center. Pretty well hit. Nigel Morgan going back, looking up. And it is way out of here. Wow. Buster Posey. A 2-run bomb off the scoreboard in center field. It sounded good. I didn't think it was hit that good. But that was a blast by Posey.
Yep, 3 RBIs for Buster Posey tonight. He had 3 last night. And that's a no-doubter right there to center field. Off the Miller sign out there in the on the scoreboard. And the Giants have their 4-run lead back.
Posey's having a monster series. 3-run homer last night. Has 6 RBIs in the 2 games. Posey had 0 3 RBI games before this series, and now he's had 2 in a row. Two for 3 tonight. 6-2 San Francisco in the 6th inning. Pagan lifts it to shallow left, and it'll be Braun who calls and catches for the first out. Stitch and Pitch is June 19th. Tickets start at $25 and include a Brewers Stitch and Pitch bobblehead. For details, call 414-902-GAME or visit brewers.com/stitch. One out for Aubrey Huff. Posey and Cabrera. They have been some tough outs in this series. And those are the 2 spots in the batting order, you know, when Ron Renicky and Rick Krenich put their game plan together. Those are the 2 guys that you can't afford to have beat you, and they have certainly done that.
Well, you walk Cabrera, you put yourself in a position to have to throw strikes to Posey and make a mistake on him, and he's going to make you pay.
Ball and 2 strikes. 1 man gone in the 6th. Aubrey Huff takes a ball. Now, the more you see Posey play, the more you like him. He's only 25 years old and missed most of the season last season. He only played in 45 games last year.
Incredible hitter. You wonder how long the Giants are going to have him catch, though.
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah, they like Sanchez. Hector Sanchez, good hitter. He's a switch hitter. He can catch. And in all honesty, the Giants are looking for a first baseman.
Huff gets into one to right. Aoki is back with room, and he makes a catch for the out. 2 outs in the inning. That was close.
Huff's had a couple of near misses tonight to right.
I guess as far as the position change for Posey, I mean, the Giants have basically said that it has to be the player who wants to make that move. You can suggest, you can say you want to, it's better for the ball club, but I mean, I think Posey realizes the importance of the catching position. There are very few catchers that can hit like Buster Posey, and those that can are all-stars, and they're also guys who get paid pretty handsomely.
again, I think you hit the nail right on the head. What is best for the team. There's been a lot of players that have made position moves that they really would have preferred not to have to make, but they made them for the interest of the team. And Robin Yount won.
And we're not saying that Posey's not making that move. I mean, if Bruce Bochy goes to him and says, look, we're better off if you're at first, then he would go in a second. But that hasn't been the case just yet. The Giants are pretty pleased with a couple of young first basemen they have, Brandon Belt and Brett Pill, who we saw last night. Two young players who have produced in the minor leagues, big numbers in the minor leagues. So Giants would be best served to follow that through as Juan Perez is up and throwing. I think the Posey situation is a lot like Joe Mauer in Minnesota. Mauer wants to catch. He's a good hitter. He knows he can have a greater impact on the team behind the plate. Because you can affect the club defensively just like you can offensively.
Everybody wants to catch.
I wish that was the case. Ramirez just does get Arias. And the inning is over. So all you kids out there, if you want to make it to the big leagues the quickest, you got to catch. Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by the new Miller Lite Punch Top Can. It's Miller time. Back at Miller Park, the roof is closed on a cool night. And time to take a look at our Jimmy John's high-speed delivery. As the Giants have a 6-2 lead. Matt Cain, 93-mile-an-hour fastball. He's topped out at that. Sean Markham at 88. Cain has given up 2 runs as Ramirez drives one in the gap in left center. That is down and will bounce off the wall. Ramirez on his way to second. The throw is late. And it's a double for Aramis Ramirez. And the Brewers are getting their hits against Cain.
Yes, they are. 8. And that ties the season high given up by Cain this year. That happened in his last start against the Cardinals. Fastball right down the middle. First pitch to Ramirez, and he rattles it off the wall and left. Nice swing by Ramirez. And still another man in scoring position from Milwaukee.
Well, a 2-run homer by Posey in the top of this inning is a big one. Otherwise, the Brewers with the tying run at the plate. Of course, you don't know how Cain pitches differently with a 4-run lead as opposed to a 2-run lead. 6-2 San Francisco. The Brewers have out-hit the Giants 8-5.
Yeah, hits in every inning, and a man in scoring position in every inning but the fifth.
Brewers have left 4 on. The Giants have just stranded 1 in this game with a couple of homers. You didn't think this would be a series where the Giants would out-homer the Brewers. Giants not known for their home run hitting. They play in a pitcher-friendly ballpark in San Francisco. They're enjoying the short fences here at Miller Park. Jonathan Lucroy with runners in scoring position this year at the top of the heap in the National League. And all of baseball, actually. .552 hitter. In a spot like this, 16 hits in 29 at-bats. Lucroy tonight against Kane with 2 hits. Has a triple and a double. And his updated batting average is .350.
Just seeing the baseball well. That's all you can say. Putting a good swing on it, a good approach.
Breaking ball got him. Lucroy rung up. That is a pitch that is in vogue in the last couple of seasons. What looks like a hanging breaking ball from Matt Cain is a knee buckler.
Yeah, you can see where Posey's setting up. He's setting up on the inside corner. It starts off the plate, then breaks right over the inside edge. Lucroy might have thought that was up.
Lucroy, the 5th strikeout victim for Matt Cain. And it'll be Ricky Weeks once again. Weeks drove in a pair with a double. His last time up, he hit a rocket off the center field fence. Cain starts him with a breaking ball, and we're starting to see a lot more curveballs or sliders from Matt Cain as we move into the 3rd time through the batting order. And he has a good one.
He's got a couple of different breaking balls. Curveball, slider, cutter. He's got a good changeup. A lot of different pitches he can throw for strikes to keep you honest.
And barely looks like he's breaking a sweat. Ramirez at second, 1 out in the inning. And Weeks had a good cut, fouled it back. Ball and 2 strikes. Now Cain proved himself a big game postseason pitcher as well. Giants made their World Series run in 2010. Matt Cain had 20 consecutive scoreless innings in the postseason and 2 wins. That was as a 25-year-old. He's now 27. Cain was in the big leagues at age 20. 2005. Those are his postseason numbers from that 2010 season. The 3 starts, won 2 of them, and not an earned run.
And he's been particularly tough all year in situations like this. With men in scoring position, coming in with an opponent batting average of 116 with runners in scoring position. 1 for 9 are the Brewers tonight, so that backs it up.
Two and 2. Ramirez takes his lead, and Weeks takes a ball. 3 and 2 now. Despite Ricky Weeks' struggles at the plate, one area that he has been very good at is drawing walks. As a matter of fact, Weeks is 4th in the National League in walks. Has 24 of them this year. 3 and 2. Got him. Cain strikes him out on a nasty hook. 6 strikeouts for Matt Cain, including back-to-back Ks.
Well, that's a nasty curveball right there. I mean, a quick, late-breaking curveball down out of the strike zone and out of his head. Looks like a fastball, then just disappears as it gets to home plate. That is nasty.
Well, Posey and Cain coming together on a game plan for Taylor Green. Not a big book or a scouting report on Taylor Green. Two outs. A 1 out, or actually leadoff double by Ramirez. He's still at second base after back-to-back strikeouts. That one's in there for a strike. Like the slider. Cameron Lowe joins one. Perez in the bullpen. Matt Cain has 6 strikeouts. 5 of those have come with a runner in scoring position. And you can add one more to it. So Cain strikes out the side after the leadoff double and has kicked it into a second gear against Milwaukee. To the 7th we go. Giants have the lead 6-2. Toyota, the Giants have a 6-2 lead. Couple of home runs for the Giants. Joaquin Arias, the first of his career. Buster Posey's driven in 3 runs and a 2-run homer and an RBI double. Jonathan Lucroy has a couple of hits against Matt Cain, but the Brewers have been unable to cash in very often with runners in scoring position. Cubs and Brewers are coming up. The next Brewers homestand features another visit from Dale Swaim and the Chicago Cubs. Tickets are going fast. We invite you to call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com to order. New pitcher is Juan Perez, and he is in for Sean Markham, who exits after 6 innings and 6 earned runs.
Yeah, took the loss last night in the 14th inning. Gave up that home run to Hector Sanchez, and this will be Perez's 4th consecutive day on the mound for Ron Roenicke.
And he will face Emmanuel Burris to lead off. Well, the priority right now for the Brewers somehow get Matt Cain out of the ballgame. Remember, the Giants used their closer for 2 innings last night. The first time all year Casilla had pitched 2 complete innings. So they're a little beat up in their bullpen, just like the Brewers are. Matt Cain put it into a new level with a runner at second last inning, striking out the side to get out of it. There's the workload for Juan Perez the last 3 days.
Well, Rick Kranitz told us before the game that Perez said that he can pitch every day, and they are putting that to the test.
That is a concerned look by Rick Kranitz as he whistles a fastball in there for a strike.
I think it surprises you about Perez is the fact that he throws 93, 94 miles an hour. Not a big guy, but that sweeping breaking ball, very effective against lefties. But Renicky says he doesn't mind seeing him against right-handers. He throws well.
Perez tried to bunt his way on back in the third inning. And now the count goes 3-2. Command has been the heart of the challenge for Perez throughout his career. He has great stuff. He figures a guy who has been in the big leagues a while at 33 years of age, but he hasn't. The funky mechanics, but he punches out Burris. Inside corner fastball for a strikeout.
He comes at you all arms and legs and able to catch that inside corner. Burris thought it was inside. He was on his way to first. Nothing doing.
Well, there's a phrase that scouts use in baseball called pitching pretty. That would be a guy like Matt Cain. He pitches pretty. You know, he seems like he's giving very little effort. And then the other side of that is the max effort style of Juan Perez.
And it kind of falls off toward third base, which is a bit unusual as well.
Yeah, his lead foot is toward the Giants dugout where it lands. He never has to worry about any of the holes that are already dug up by the starting pitcher. Because no one steps where he steps. Way over there on the third base side. Cain had a good cut. 0-2 the count.
You see the way he actually steps. That rattled that camera a little bit. Steps over toward third base, way open when he finishes up.
And that post-release motion there is because he knows he's in a vulnerable position for a line drive or a comebacker. So his over the years you can understand why his first instinct was both hands up, getting ready for the shot back up the middle. In protection mode.
Well, that's the way he finishes up. Yeah, arms up. Where is it?
What happened? Full count to Cain. Well, you like the way Renicky is showing confidence in Perez. I mean, he's a guy that he can use. Puts him right back on the horse, but he walks the pitcher, and that is a no-no. So now a base runner back to the top of the order, and Perez against the speedy Gregor Blanco.
That delivery that can sometimes make him very deceptive and tough to hit is one of the reasons why he's inconsistent in throwing strikes. What makes him good is what makes him inconsistent from time to time.
Had some big league time with the Phillies and then again with the Pirates. Blanco is 0 for 3. He's hitless in the series. 0 for 9. Put that one right by him, didn't he?
Man, he can be tough on lefties. He really can with that delivery. He's effectively wild. You don't really want to dig in too much if you're a left-handed hitter on Perez.
In there for a strike. 94-mile-an-hour fastball. I think Juan Perez looks at every day as a bonus right now after the scare he had this spring and a collapsed lung. Happy to be pitching, happy to be alive. And once they were able to remedy the collapsed lung, he had to start all over again because he had shut down. Obviously, he wasn't doing any physical activity. So he had to start the clock over again, try to prepare for the season. There's a strike called, a fastball on the outside corner, and Blanco is rung up, and he's barking a little. Gregor Blanco with his team leading 6-2. He's patiently offering his opinion to Tim Timmons.
Yeah, third strikeout for Blanco. Second time looking.
Good for Tim Timmons. He let him say his piece. Normally, you start complaining about balls and strikes, umpires are not so taken to that.
Right. And Tim Timmons, yeah, you're right. I mean, some of these umpires these days are a little bit aggressive. Tim Timmons perhaps politely said, you know what, get up there and swing the bat.
He said, well, I disagree with you, Gregor, and I'm the only one that counts. We could all use a little more diplomacy, don't you think? Strike one to Crawford. Runner at first, Matt Cain, the pitcher who walked. Perez with a couple of strikeouts in this inning. Broken bat, bouncer to Weeks. And a good inning, a scoreless inning for Juan Perez. Nicely done by the left-hander. Stretch time at Miller Park.
Inning time now to play some social media with you. Of course, our handle on our Twitter account is @FSWisconsin. And tonight's question comes from Eric. It's a good one. One of the specific responsibilities of the crew chief in the umpiring crew. A good one tonight. We're getting some good questions coming in. And how about some good old answers, Rock? You know those off the top of your head.
Crew chief has a lot of responsibilities, Rock.
Yeah, a lot of things that they have to do. They're the ultimate decision maker with respect to replays, and they'll take control in the event of a rain out or a rain delay, which is certainly not an issue here at Miller Park. But they will intervene when things kind of get out of hand with some of the other umpires, and a lot of times they'll pick up a check at dinner.
Have you ever had a crew chief buy you dinner, Rock?
I have. Bruce Fremming. But he wasn't an umpire at the time.
There are the numbers on Matt Cain. He has been as advertised despite giving up 8 hits when the Brewers have had men on and in scoring position. He's been at his best.
No, wait a minute. You said, has he bought me dinner? No, I've had dinner with him.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, crew chiefs might
I'm a little
in their own umpire circle, but I tell you, outside of that, there's no going to the wallet.
get a little delirious thinking that Bruce would buy me dinner.
Cesaris Turris leading off for the Brewers. 6-2 Giants. Buster Posey's 2-run homer in the 6th was a big one. Measured at 438 feet. Ryan Braun hit one here last night off Bumgarner that traveled nearly 460 feet. Look out, Rock. That's right in here.
Oh, yeah.
I was afraid of what might happen there.
What happened?
Well, it was a little low, and it was a little out of my reach.
Okay. I saw you go after it. Were you going after it or were you leaving?
I thought about going after it, then I decided against. Nice play here as Turris is out at first. Wow. Emmanuel Burris.
Yeah, pretty close play at first base. His Turris running hard down the line, and that's a nice play by Burris at second base. Going up the middle. Tough play is making that throw, putting something on it, and a very good pick over there by Huff. Bang, bang. Looks like it might have been a pretty good call.
George Kataris will pinch hit. Outstanding play in a close play. Good pickup by Huff.
Yep, he was out.
And a good call by the first base umpire Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief.
Let's get back to that foul ball that was coming back here.
A little low.
Now, were you actually getting up to go after it, or getting up to?
That was my first thought, and then it was in an awkward position. So I went ahead and just allowed the fans to come up with a baseball.
You know what convinced me not to grab it?
There's a liner to right center, and Kataris is on with a pinch hit single. He's now 4 for 10 off the bench.
I decided to leave it alone when I could hear it coming back at me. Those are the ones you got to stay away from.
Hissing foul ball.
How about George Kataris coming off the bench, hitting a laser beam into right field? Slider cut fastball by Matt Cain, and he's able to wait back and get it. 4 for 10 is George as a pinch hitter.
As a home run, he's driven in 5. And a base runner with 1 away. The 9th hit against Matt Cain. Well, you hate to waste this many hits against a pitcher like Cain. Aoki is almost hit. Nori Aoki at the plate, presented by Wendy's, had a triple in his first at bat against Cain.
And 9 hits, a season high given up by Matt Cain. There was a stretch of 3 starts at the end of April where combined in 3 starts he'd given up 8 hits altogether. A 1-hitter, a 2-hitter, and 5 hits.
Well, this is a key hitter. Cain certainly knows that. Aoki, the leadoff hitter. You got Nigel Morgan next, and then Braun. Brewers down 4, bottom of the 7th. 2-1 on Aoki.
And nobody getting loose in that Giants bullpen. Matt Cain over 100 pitches.
On a day when the bullpen is taxed after 14 innings last night. There's a strike. Backdoor breaking ball is in there, and it's 2-2.
Aoki thought it was a fastball, going to end up a little bit upstairs, but it came down and broke. Look a little high as it crossed home plate.
Aoki rips one, and that's headed to the gap. Yako cannot cut it off. Here comes Kataris. On his way to the plate, the throw is late. Kataris scores on an RBI double by Aoki. 6-3. The Brewers are within 3 of the Giants.
Hey, how about Nori tomahawking that pitch? Well, you never know where he's going to end up. Look at this pitch. Up in the zone. He wasn't going to take any chances with that high pitch that was called a strike earlier in the at-bat. This pitch literally head high. Look at the way he's tomahawking that pitch. That is tough to do. Well, low 90s fastball and all the way to the wall. George able to score. Heck of a swing by Aoki.
A 2-strike double to drive in a run.
Look how high this pitch is. I mean, you're talking about neck high, literally.
That is a beautiful piece of hitting. And Aoki starting to become a factor offensively for the Brewers. Nyjer Morgan now with Braun on deck. The Brewers are within 3. Tying run still in the on-deck circle. Morgan had to hit his last time up. A little flare single to left. And Morgan hits one sharply to center. Blanco is back, and he's got it for the out. Aoki will tag. And he'll make it to third. What a great catch by Pagan. I beg your pardon. Well, he was very calm after that baseball and hauls it in for the out.
I think he misjudged it just a little bit, but Pagan able to stay on it, make the catch. Aoki into third base. Nyjer put a charge into that base. It carried pretty well.
Well, that gets by Pagan, who's still not feeling well, it looks like. He was out with an illness yesterday. Nyjer would have been able to run for a while. But instead, Pagan, at the last moment, snatches it. 2 outs in the inning. Here is Braun. That is a big runner to try to pick up at third base. 10 hits for the Brewers against Cain. Braun is hitless tonight. He's 0 for 3. The reigning MVP against a Cy Young candidate, Matt Cain. Big league matchup here at Miller Park. Every time you ask Braun about facing the best in the National League, he always talks about measuring himself against the elite pitchers. And he's had a lot of success against Cain in his career.
It's been all fastballs so far by Matt Cain. Everything away. This is where Ryan usually tries to drive something in the gap. Into right center. Use the opposite field.
Giants have their bullpen active. 1-2 pitch and a breaking ball pulled toward third. That's a base hit. It's by Arias. Aoki will score. And Ryan Braun delivers again. 6-4. Giants have a 2-run lead now. And the inning continues for Matt Cain.
Up a 4-pitch at bat for Ryan Braun. 3 fastballs. Cain tried to stay away from him with the heat at 92 miles an hour. Even the count at 1-1. There's the mistake pitch by Cain right down the middle. And then he comes back with a breaking pitch. And Ryan able to leak it into left field. And for another RBI for Ryan. A 2-out, 2-strike RBI. The Brewers come within 2 runs.
And that extends Braun's hitting streak to 11 games. Here is Ramirez representing the tying run. Had a big cut. So Braun's hitting 11 in a row now. And an RBI single extends the inning and gets Bruce Bochy one step closer to that Giants bullpen. Off the end of the bat, foul territory. Huff at the rail, just out of his reach in the Brewers dugout. And Ramirez fortunate. Ramirez has 2 hits tonight against Matt Cain. Singled and scored a run in the 4th, and then he doubled to start the 6th. That was the inning Cain struck out the side after that double. Last inning. Puts Ramirez on his seat.
And making sure he's not diving over the plate, but a little bit too close for comfort. Oh, that's a little bit too high, don't you think? Look out.
Well, what does he throw here? Does he come back with a breaking ball? Back with a fastball, and Ramirez fouls it away. Ramos Ramirez with 2 outs and Braun at first. Outfield is deep for the Giants. And a check swing, able to hold it up. 2-2. That was a good take. That's a tough pitch. Cain gets a lot of strikeouts on that slider.
Yeah, that slider away, and Ramirez started the bat, held it up. Good call.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Got him. Cain strikes out Ramirez. And the inning is over, but the Brewers do get a couple of runs, and it's back to a 2-run deficit.
forecast for the Brewers, still at home against the Giants, last game of the series, and beautiful weather for baseball in Milwaukee. Outside of Miller Park, plenty of sunshine, temperatures by first pitch outside of the park in the upper 60s.
All right, Jeanette, thanks. Sounds like a great day for baseball tomorrow. Have the roof open, I'm sure. Final game of the series against the Giants. And no television tomorrow. You can catch that one on the Brewers radio network, or you can check out our Brewers squeeze play tomorrow night. We'll give you the Cliffs Notes version of the ball game. Miller Lite, what's on tap as the Brewers take Thursday off and then a series beginning in Arizona Friday. Cameron Lowe is in for Milwaukee. Juan Perez goes a scoreless 7th. It is a 6-4 ball game now. The Brewers are back within 2, and Lowe trying to keep it that way.
Yeah, Cameron gave up a couple of unearned runs in an inning of work on Sunday against the Twins in that big Brewers win. 19th appearance, good numbers for Cameron Lowe this year.
So he'll have the tough part of the order with Melky Cabrera leading off, and then Posey. Posey has had a huge series. Cabrera getting his hits and scoring a lot of runs in front of Posey. 4 hits in the series for Melky Cabrera. A couple of walks. He's 1 for 2 tonight with a walk. He scored twice. And he's hitting .362. The National League hits leader. And he's a lot better when he's ahead in the count. There's a bouncer to Green. And there's a first out. And a big out for Cameron Lowe. So 1 away for Buster Posey, and time now for our AT&T Uverse Reverse Replay. Take you back to the Posey homer. Came in the 4th inning, high off the scoreboard, or out of the 6th inning, high off the scoreboard in center field. Extended the Giants' lead to 4, and right now that's the difference in the ball game. 2 homers tonight for the Giants, Posey and Joaquin Arias. Arias hit a 2-run shot in the 4th inning. Posey also had an RBI double in the 1st. So he's driven in 6 in the first 2 games of this series with 2 homers. Posey's injury last year was on the 25th of May, that collision at home plate, his final game. Played in just 45 games a season ago.
He really hasn't shown any signs of any problems with that ankle at any portion of his game either. He's moving around behind home plate pretty well and hitting over 300.
He said the biggest challenge was just getting his timing back against big league pitching.
That didn't take long.
I guess not. His batting average at .302 now.
Some guys just born hitters, you know. They roll out of bed on Christmas Eve and hit ropes. Robin Yount was like that. Well, he said he didn't do a whole lot of batting practice during the winter. He'd come into spring training, pick up a bat, and start hitting ropes. Natural born ability.
Yeah, Posey, the rookie of the year in 2010, hit .305 in his first full season in the big leagues.
Of course, I'm not quite ready to compare Buster Posey to Robin Yount.
That's a lot to put on a guy.
I'm not saying that. Got a long way to go.
Count stays at 2-2. Like Robin Yount, who was nicknamed the Kid because he was in the big leagues at a very young age as a teenager. Posey was in the big leagues at 22. His coming out party, I guess you could say, was here against the Brewers. And he established himself as a major threat. 2010 he had 9 RBIs in that series. It was a 4-game series in 2010. 9 runs batted in. It was in July of 10, and the Giants knew they had a big bat. As he falls down swinging, Cameron Lowe strikes him out.
Yeah, good sink on that fastball from Cameron Lowe. Check it out, just disappears. Posey thought he had one to hit. Big hack, he falls down. And no shortening up that swing with 2 strikes. The Giants believe in bringing their kids up early, don't they? I mean,
they do.
Posey, they got Bumgarner was up early.
Yeah, Belt and Pill, Brett Pill. I think some of that is due to necessity. You know, on the offensive side, but they feel very strongly about their organization, how they prepare their young pitchers for the major leagues. And they've done a good job. They have produced some terrific big league talent. And I think the Brewers, if you talk to Bruce Side, who's the scouting director, and I just saw Bruce before the game today, he's preparing for the June draft. Very similar to the Giants' approach, drafting pitchers, college-age pitchers, like Tim Lincecum was a college pitcher out of Washington. Big, strong, right-handed pitchers like Matt Cain. Brewers have followed that pattern. It's nothing new. It's not as if the Giants started that, but there is that. You weigh the balance, because a high school pitcher, you know, some high school pitchers have a lot more upside, and you can get them for a little cheaper, I guess is the best way to put it. A lot of the polished college pitchers, very expensive to sign. The Brewers have invested a great deal in their draft over the last few years, and I mean, you're talking about $1 million to $2 million just to sign the player.
Right.
Guys like Taylor Youngman and Jed Bradley. So you have to allocate some budget to do that, and Bruce Side is the man who recognizes the talent that's coming up in the draft and how best to spend that money, whatever's given to him. I think that's what's so fascinating about the Texas Rangers and the way they've gone about their international scouting. They've taken what money that they might have spent in the draft, they've transferred it over to the international scouting side, which works completely differently than the draft.
Right.
It's almost like college recruiting in international. I mean, there's a wine and dine part to that the Brewers aren't so heavily involved in the international end, except now they do have a baseball academy in the Dominican Republic, which is up and running for the 2nd year. But that all takes money. But the bottom line with any organization like the Brewers, they're going to have to depend on their draft. Right. You have to develop players. You can't go get players via free agency every year.
Right, and we talked to Doug Melvin about that last night, and he said that they believe their philosophy is bringing a guy along a little bit more slowly than do the Giants. Now, there have been some success stories for the Giants, but there's also been some situations where it hasn't worked out.
I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, the character of the individual too. Is this a player who's coming up in the minor leagues? Is this a player who can handle failure in the major leagues if he goes through it? You know, where does his confidence come from? It's all part of the evaluation process. It's fascinating, and nobody has it 100% down either. It's Pagan skies to Isturis. Niger obliges to let him catch it. A 1-2-3 inning for Cameron Lowe. Bottom of the 8th, down 2.
postgame. 6-4 right now. The old woulda, shoulda, coulda. The Brewers had some opportunities early against Matt Cain, but he pitched 7 very, very strong innings, and his strikeouts were extremely efficient at critical times.
Well, he is. He's the type of guy that he goes out there when you get an opportunity. We talked in the pregame. When you get an opportunity, you have to execute. The Brewers have had runners in scoring position every inning but the 5th, and 7 of his 8 strikeouts have come with runners in scoring position.
Matt Cain, our Pizza Hut delivery of the game, and the Brewers having to play catch-up throughout this game, but they're only down by 2 right now. They got 4 runs and 11 hits off Cain, and now it's time to see what they can do against the bullpen, Brian and Bill.
All right, thanks a lot, Craig and Augie. Sergio Romo is first out of the pen for Bruce Bochy, and he might ask Romo to give him a couple innings here tonight. We'll see. 6-4 is the score. Romo pitched last night. He has been terrific. A 0.69 ERA for the Giants this year.
And he's going to throw just about every pitch. Going to be a slider. At least that's what he wants to get you out with. He may show a fastball from time to time.
Jonathan Lucroy leads off. He'll be followed by Weeks, then Taylor Green. Brewers need a base runner. Down a pair. And the signature Romo pitch, that breaking ball. Cain goes 7 innings, 11 hits. And the Brewers score 4 runs off of him, but he didn't walk a batter, and he struck out 8. And as Augie mentioned, 7 of the 8 Ks came with runners in scoring position. He was at his best when he needed to be.
Yeah, Brewers 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position tonight.
Well, the big question, how much does the Giants bullpen have left in the tank after last night? Especially with their closer, Santiago Casilla, who went 2. Giants lost Brian Wilson. Tommy John surgery earlier this season. And it's been the combination of Romo and Casilla. Romo went 2/3 of an inning last night, struck out both hitters. Did give up a walk in the game, but he only threw 11 pitches in last night's game. He's never pitched 2 innings in a game this season. He has gone an inning and 2/3, but he's never completed 2 full innings.
And you probably wouldn't expect him to do it tonight. Not a big guy, 5'10", 183. I think that's a bit heavy. He doesn't look that big, does he? A lot of sliders.
Prior to last night's game, Romo had not pitched since Friday night. He picked up a hold in a scoreless inning against the Athletics. So of all the arms out there, he's probably the freshest of the group. 2-2 on Jonathan Lucroy, starting the 8th. Emmanuel Burris makes the play for out number 1. Lucroy 2 for 4. And 1 gone for Romo.
He slipped the fastball in on his hands that time. So many sliders, so many pitches on the outside part of the plate. Every now and again he'll come inside and get you down on the handle.
Here's Ricky Weeks, who drove in 2 runs in the 4th inning on a double. It's the other part of this game that is maddening for the Brewers right now. He had 11 hits off Matt Cain, which is a season high that he has allowed. 7 of those 11 hits were extra base hits, which is a career high allowed by Matt Cain. And he is in a position to win this one tonight.
You get a bloop and a blast, and we're back at even again.
I'm going to go for a couple of bloops and a blast.
I prefer that.
Just based on recent events.
Right. Extra innings, you mean?
Weeks down on strikes. 2 outs in the inning. It is not a good matchup for Ricky Weeks.
Yeah, that sweeping slider right there off the outside corner. Yeah, Ricky not seeing that pitch very well.
So 2 away, and here's Taylor Green now. Sergio Romo against the Brewers in San Francisco. Pitched twice in that series. Did not allow a run in his 2 appearances. Gave up just 1 hit. He's only given up 1 run all year. That was to the Cardinals last week. Not a bad season.
No. Starting rotation, bullpen's been very good, and a bullpen that has thrived even without their closer.
Well, he's got Green down in the count, 1-2. Green looking for a mistake. Get to the 22nd of May and you've only given up 1 run and only 8 hits all year. It's about as good as you can do it. Trying to retire the side in order. The 1-2 to Green. Bouncer to short. Crawford waits back on it. And that's it. 1-2-3. The Brewers go in order in the 8th. Still trailing 6-4 to go to the 9th. And Cameron Lowe is back on the mound, trying to give the Brewers a couple of innings here. He had a 3-up, 3-down 8th. Ho-Chunk Gaming text question. Steve in Grafton asks, do you like the combination of Aoki and Morgan at the top of the lineup? So far it's been effective, especially the Aoki version of that. He's been swinging the bat very well.
Against a right-hander right now, that's about as good an option as Ron Renneke has at this point. Carlos Gomez still trying to get back into the groove, back into the fold after coming off the disabled list.
6-4 Giants. Thanks for your question. You can always get interactive with us on the social media here on the Brewers broadcast.
I think tomorrow, though, you're going to see Corey Hart in that leadoff spot.
Yeah, Renicky likes a little power in the leadoff position. And then he'd rather have a guy like Aoki or Morgan hitting second. Somebody who can bunt. Swinging bunt by Huff. Lowe makes a nice play for the first out, and he's retired 4 in a row.
Although, ideally, in a perfect world, you'd rather have Ricky Weeks in the leadoff spot and Corey Hart in more of an RBI spot in the batting order, but that's just not the way it is right now.
Joaquin Arias, who hit a 2-run homer in the 4th inning, his first career major league homer, and has been up and down from the big leagues to the minor leagues going back to the 06 season. Signing as a free agent with the Giants and big league time with the Rangers. Sean Markham started, went 6 innings, gave up 6 earned runs. That one's fly to right for Aoki, who makes the play for out number 2. Now let's get you caught up, those of you just joining us. By the way, Donald Driver just won Dancing with the Stars. Congratulations. He was in your Dancing with the Stars fantasy camp pick. Buster Posey, 2 for 4 with a home run. He hit a 2-run blast in the 6th inning. Ricky Weeks drove in a pair off Matt Cain. That came in the 4th inning. Ryan Braun driving in the 3rd Brewers run. Second, the 4th Brewers run to give Milwaukee a 2-run deficit. Sorry, I was a little distracted by the Donald Driver big finish.
Yeah.
Did you know he was even in Dances with the Stars?
I did not. I'm sorry.
Well, he was, and he won. So if you're going to do something, you might as well play to win. That's the Packer way. Inning is over. Cameron Lowe, impressive. 6 in a row. Brewers need to go a little Green Bay Packers on the Giants as we go to the ninth. Last call for the Crew, bottom of the 9th inning, and it is 6-4. The Giants lead by 2, and after 2 innings last night, picking up the win in a 14-inning game, Santiago Casilla is back on the horse tonight. Brandon Bell takes over at first base. And how about Bruce Bochy going back to his closer after 2 innings last night?
Well, he probably came into the ballpark today saying, if you need me to close this thing out, I am ready. He's 10 for 11. He picked up a win yesterday. A 145 earned run average, picking up very nicely for Brian Wilson, who's out for the year.
Cameron Lowe goes 2 scoreless. The 8th and the 9th, keeping it at a 2-run deficit. And Bochy sending his closer back out there. The only save he's blown this year, Casilla, was against Milwaukee. Cesar Torres will lead off, and then Corey Hart in the on-deck circle. This is going to be about pitch count for the Brewers against Casilla in this inning. And the more he throws, the more into the danger zone he gets.
It's kind of one of those fine lines. You don't want to be too patient, because a lot of times the first strike is the best one to hit. That fastball right down the middle for his Turris, but the Brewers need a base runner.
Well, Santiago Casilla has a wicked slider, and he showed it off last night. There were some high stress innings last night. Giants got him from the A's. As his Torres on a hop to Crawford. He hit it hard, but right at Crawford for the first out. Tough break for his Torres. Finishes 0 for 4. And here's Corey Hart. Pinch hit appearance for Corey Hart. Hitting for Cameron Lowe, the pitcher spot. Brewers need a base runner. Top of the order is next. Hart hit leadoff last night, was hitless in 6 tries. He was the final out in the 14th inning. Facing Casilla. Casilla never showed this much stuff with the Oakland Athletics, but in his 2 seasons with the Giants, 2010-2011, an earned run average under 2, and this year's ERA is 1.45. I mean, they have found something in this right-hander. Santiago Casilla, who is pitching under a different name with the Oakland Athletics.
Well, the difference in him is he's throwing strikes. He's not walking batters and getting ahead and being able to use that nasty slider that you were talking about. Just certain guys, you know, figure it out at different times in their career.
And he strikes out Corey Hart. Made quick work of Hart, and 2 gone. Well, our Marshfield Clinic shining moment. Nori Aoki against Matt Cain. First time he'd faced the All-Star Matt Cain. His first at-bat was a triple. And then Aoki came up in the 7th inning and roped a double into the gap in right center, driving in a run. And now he's trying to keep the game alive. 2 outs, 9th inning. Casilla. Aoki takes a ball.
Well, the goal here is to try and get Braun to the plate. Got to get 2 guys on.
Two and 0 the count. Santiago Casilla, when he was a member of the Oakland A's, was pitching under the name Jairo Garcia. But then birth certificates revealed he went back to his original name. Picked up a few years. And has never pitched better. Maybe it freed him up, Rock.
Yeah.
He wasn't all that good as Jairo Garcia, but he has been very good as Santiago Casilla.
The truth will set you free. Just like the name Jairo, huh?
There's a strike, 3-1. Yeah, Jairo. Jairo. You ever play under an assumed name, Rock?
I wish I did.
You think about that every day.
Looking at the box scores.
Hey, there's ball 4. The Brewers will bring the tying run to the plate. A hitter away from Braun coming up, Nigel Morgan.
Aoki continues to impress. The season will be getting better as the season goes on.
So here's Morgan.
Posey out there just reminding Casilla that this is the guy you want. You don't want to be dealing with Ryan Braun. He's on deck.
If Braun bats, he'll represent the winning run. Brewers are down 2 outs. Morgan fouls it away. Garcia's pitch count at 14 now. The left-handed batter takes away his most effective pitch, the slider. He'll still throw it against lefties. But lefties have a little bit better chance against him. Morgan 1 for 4. Robbed of a sac fly and an RBI on a great throw from Cabrera in the first inning. Tying run at the plate. Casilla and a bouncing ball up the middle. Crawford will step on the bag, and that's a ball game. The Giants have won the first 2 here in Milwaukee, and they have taken 4 out of 5 from the Brewers this season, and the struggles continue for the Milwaukee Brewers. Brewers dropped to 17 and 26. Much more still to come on this one. Craig Kashawn standing by. What do you have coming up on Brewers Live, Craig?
Well, we're going to hear from Ron Renicky and figure out where the Brewers are going to go from here. Only 1 game left on this homestand now, and the homestand certainly not going the way the Brewers had hoped. They're going to hit the road as well. Plus, we'll preview Game 3 tomorrow. It's a noon start here at Miller Park. We'll get inside the clubhouse as well. Brewers Live on the way on Fox Sports Wisconsin.